Hey everybody, how's it going? For today's video, we've got a finale of sorts for a bonus series that is possibly one of the most expensive and maybe also the somewhat possibly one of the most disappointing bonus series in the game. That is not because of the car that's featured. The featured car here is beautiful. It's of course the 2018 Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, sort of that what LMP1 car can be if there were no regulations, right? And the bonus series here we got is Tribute Tour, just a single car because there's no other car that actually kind of comes near the performance of this guy. So there was a total of 75 gold rewards in this series, and final 100% completion gets me the 31 remaining gold. So far I have won some 44 gold from this series, and 100% completion requires, as you can see, PR 129.7. And that, to meet that PR requirement, you have to spend some 1,375 gold. And, well, if you really need to know how much racing dollar it costs, then you're probably not ready for it. But I'll tell you anyway. It costs you 4.1 million racing dollars. But most of you guys, racing dollars not a big deal. And yeah, so it's very expensive. And the car itself is worth 1,150 gold, so it is by far one of the most expensive cars ever featured in the game. And the performance of the car certainly backs it up. What's unfortunate is there really isn't any like decent length race that can really take advantage of its strength. I feel like all the races are over before you kind of get going on this car. So anyway, here we are. Time to wrap up the final tier of this somewhat disappointing, but hopefully we'll make the most of it. There are only 15 tiers also, and there are 3 time trials. So that means that's only a total of 38 events. So yeah, pretty short event. I mean, for single car series, I don't generally like long events, but with this car, I feel like because we invest so much in to, meet the PR requirement, I feel like it would have been kind of nice to see higher return in terms of, if not in game resources, at least having some decent length race to make it a bit more worthwhile. But not meant to be. Anyway, we got an endurance here for the final tier at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit, and my car is actually fully maxed out, PR 131.6. So I do actually have access to another series, namely the exclusive series featuring this car. And mine's also VIP'd as well. I know I spent the real money. So, well, here we go. Let's find out what kind of distance I have to hit. 22.2 kilometers at Red Bull Ring in this car seems fairly tame, considering the performance, what's possible in this car. So, well, let's give it a go, see what we can achieve, and then we'll discuss as we go. But here we go. Let's go flat out, I suppose. I'm thinking no clock management. Just go flat out and see what kind of time I can get. And also, yeah, no drafting in this series either. I know, no LMP1 seems to get that benefit. Figure that one out. And I am taking a relatively conservative line here. I could probably push this car pretty much a bit further into all these corners, carrying a bit more speed. Because, yeah, I mean, this car is incredible. But we'll wait for the traffic to clear out a bit more. Alright. Cutting the inside a little too close. If it were online multiplayer, that would have just killed my race. Since the cutting the inside, the time penalty you get is pretty severe. If you go outside, like if you swing out too wide, generally the time penalty is relatively manageable. But if you cut the inside, they're very brutal. You get like, I feel like what seems like forever. Might be like 10 seconds. I don't think it's quite 10 seconds, but it feels like 10 seconds. You know? And online multiplayer, I mean, even 5 seconds can be detrimental, you know? Anyway, there we go. Lap 3. We are about 9 kilometers in now. So the target was like 22 and change, I think. Right? That was a sharp cornering. Pretty late into the braking as well. Look at that. Considering how late I'm braking, you can just pretty much dish it out on this guy. Incredible handling. If you don't own this one, I mean, cost of ownership is extremely high. One of the most expensive one in the game. But in terms of just the way it handles the track is really second to none. I mean, it's so yeah. If they ever do like a rerun of opportunity, like special event to win this car again, try to save up for it. It is a good car. Even though we don't have really a perfect race to take advantage of all its strength, but you know, what we get out of it, I suppose, you know, if you can afford it. I say it's one of the unique racing experience in the game. Anyway, we're up to about 18 kilometers now. If I go outside, sure, why not? Yeah, and to fully upgrade this car, the cost is almost a joke. I mean, without any discount offer, cost you like $3,200. 3,000. Yes, I kid you not. Just to upgrade this car. So with those kind of costs, you have to think about like, for 3,000 gold, how many other cars can you get, right? And how many other cars can you max out, right? Quite a few, especially if you're dealing with the cheaper cars, right? But even with the more expensive cars, I mean, the upgrade cost at 3,200 gold is, yeah, that's That's pretty expensive. Anywho, we are gonna be wrapping up this endurance pretty quick. Okay, I get into lap 7, so we'll complete the 6 laps here. Okay, can't quite take that first corner flat out. It ain't no IDR, I get it. But the top speed IDR would not reach nearly as high either. But anyway, even with numerous mistakes throughout this endurance race, still managed to score some 27 kilometers and change. About 6.5 laps in here at Red Bull Ring. All right. And as I said, once you max out the upgrades, of course, you do have access to the exclusive series. And I'll have to make a separate video about what you can expect in that series regarding, you know, if there's any longer form race that might be worthwhile, you know, maxing out this car for. Anywho, 3,790 fame points for covering some 27 kilometers here at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix circuit. Does wipe out majority of those service bars, leaving me like 1.5. But since my car is VIP'd, I do get the instant service, so not a big deal. All right, 94% complete. Let's go on to do the autocross at Melbourne. All right. And the target time is going to be 20 seconds and change. 20.8 seconds or so. All right. There we go. Whoa. Getting it just under the target with a couple of mistakes. Running up against the wall. All right, anyway, good enough for another gold trophy though. One step closer to 100% completion of another bonus series. There we go, and looks like I should be able to complete the series without needing to service it before. Alright, so 97% complete. One final cup remains. That's at Nürburgring Grand Prix. And that's going to be worth essentially 31 gold. So PR 129.7 required for this 4-lap cup. So here we go. And yeah, so to meet that PR requirement, you basically need to max out everything on this car except the engine. You need to get up to tier 5 or stage 5 of the upgrades. So you don't need to get the remaining 2 gold upgrades and the racing dollar upgrade that's sandwiched between those 2. Yes, the final gold upgrade on the engine is like by itself like 1,300. It's yeah, kind of crazy. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, that final engine upgrade alone costs more than the cost of this entire car. I mean, come on. That is just silly expensive. An upgrade that costs more than the car itself? That seems... I mean, total cost going above the cost of the car, I get it. But just one single engine upgrade costing more than the car itself is... that is taking the absurdity to yet another level, if you ask me. A bit much. Guys, come on. And I don't mean that in a sense that raise the price of the car. I mean that in a way the last gold upgrade costs can come down. That's just too much. I mean, that stage 6 gold upgrades, so there are 6 engine upgrades available on this car, and even number stage upgrades are all gold, right? So 6 and 8 are the ones that you don't have to get in order to 100% complete this series. But the gap between those last two upgrades, so the stage 6 gold upgrade costs you some like 500 something. Let me see. How much did that cost exactly? Well, I was trying to look up the stat while I'm racing. You know what? I'll do that afterwards. Just trying to, multitask. But I think I should still be able to catch back up to the lead. Oh, no braking there. The final corner. That's pretty impressive. I mean, given I wasn't going full throttle either, but still. No brakes. Alright. Let's just say this makes the race a little bit more exciting. Alright. You know what this car's missing? Le Mans 10 lapper. That's what this car deserves. I know the legacy LMP ones have the race in the, Endurance Legends. That's fine, but this car, I feel like it's just for the sheer cost. I think it deserves something glorious. You know, more than what's offered in the game at the moment. You know, and maybe since this is really not confined to any actual real world regulation, how about we have a bonus series that where some cars like this one go head to head against MP4X, for example, right? I know, different beast altogether, but just sheerly based on their PR, you know, that would be kind of fun. I signed up for that. You know, and also they, since the introduction of this car, we've had some other cars that it's in the game that is incredibly comparable in their performance, right? So we can perhaps have sort of an ultimate Real Racing 3 showdown of the top cars. You know, how about it? Where you leave the door open to any car with a PR that is above, I don't know, 120, for example. You know, there are only so many cars that can reach that kind of PR. So, but anyway, that's that. Alright, a bit of damage here. That's fine. Just a few racing dollars taken out. But anyway, as I was saying, 580 gold is the stage 6 upgrade of the engine. And then the final stage, stage 8, jumps up to 1310. That is more than double between those two stages, which I find that a bit absurd. But anyway, what did I win here? 2,800 fame points. So that's pretty dismal, for the grand finale cup race in this series. Yes, I mean disappointing. But nevertheless, I do get to pick up some 31 gold here. So that's better than none. Yes. Spending some 1,375 gold. No, I didn't spend that much actually, because I did get this car I think had a 40% upgrade discount a while back. So there's always a chance we may have that again. But for now, we'll wrap up this bonus series, pick up the final reward of 31 gold and 31,000 racing dollars. Brings my bank account up to 15,945 gold. All right, so there we have it. Another bonus series wrapped up. 100% complete. So there we go. Thanks for tagging along for the ride, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.